Us. Good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon, Jason. On this wild Monday, I'm just up out of the basement where I was protecting myself from a tornado warning, and you can't even imagine what I found in that basement.
I wouldn't like to. I've spent enough time down there to know there's always some new and exciting horror to be found.
This is our prop basement.
Yeah, you should have been over here with us. It was me and Ira and Michelle and half a dozen waterlogged ceramicists who ran across the parking lot.
It's just that kind of day.
Yeah. If you've never been in a theater basement socially distanced from a whole bunch of ceramicists, then you haven't lived yet. So
I'm jealous. Totes jelly right now.
Absolutely. And it's kept us from recording Purple Figs as much as we tried this morning, but we're finally here. We are back, and we are going to be sharing some new work from our current exhibit, Hope. Kim, would you like to tell everyone at home a little bit about Hope, our last exhibit for 2020?
Well, this is a marvelous open juried exhibit, and we had a record number. I think you said 150.
151. We had one last minute one. Yeah.
It just is amazing to me. And we have 131 of those actually on the walls with a supplemental digital exhibit of the remaining. So everyone is in this exhibit. And the interpretations are just extraordinary. And I know that you had just delightful fun with yours. And we'll get to that in a moment. But there's poetry in this exhibit. There are masks that are canvas that are painted in this exhibit. We've had a marvelous time with this. And our curator, Michelle Law, as always, home run on putting this all together. She's just brilliant, the way that she hangs these exhibits to be so appealing. So you don't want to miss this.
No, I mean, the way she does it, it's like a jigsaw puzzle with no picture on the cover, and it all still fits together. It's really amazing. So please come by. It's here till the end of the year. Current hours are 10 to 4 Wednesday through Saturday. So please drop by. You don't need to make a reservation with the exception of this Friday. What are we doing this Friday, Kim?
So this Friday I'm calling it an open house, but it's an opportunity for everyone to come and see one of 4 exhibits that will be up. Hope. We have a pop-up holiday exhibit, art sale, basically, called Small Works Equals Big Joy. And some of our instructors and folks in our members arts and crafts show from last year have wonderful items that are affordably priced for sale. We also have our piece by piece digital exhibit up, Piece by Piece 5, and Barbara Ford Doyle's wonderful photographic exhibit called Church Ladies. So if you come by, you need a reservation. We're making it safe for you. 25 folks who can be in the building at the same time. We'll have volunteers and staff here to help you stay safe, and hopefully you'll find some fun gifts for your family and friends.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description to sign up. So please do. If you want to come by, just know, like Kim said, we're limited to 25 people at a time. So there's not a guarantee you'll be able to get in unless you make a reservation. But it's totally free to do that. Couldn't be easier. Michelle and Ira are downstairs right now setting up the pieces, putting them out. There's some really fantastic works. So please come by. It's time to start thinking about that holiday shopping, and what better gift than the gift of art, where you're not only giving something someone can have and, it will be precious to them, but you're supporting the center and you're supporting local artists when you make that purchase. So definitely worth coming to see our Small Works show starting this Friday. And I should mention, if you are a member or are going to be a member soon, every Saturday from November to the end of the exhibit in December, members will get a discount on any pieces they buy in the Small Works show and any merchandise as well. So absolutely worth coming by if you're a member, coming here on a Saturday or come on any day. Check out Hope, check out the Small Works show, check out everything that we have.
And speaking of fun, with all of that stuff, you had enormous fun with the piece that you selected for Purple Figs this time. Why don't you tell us about your selection? And I know you'll read your poem for us.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and show off the piece now. So the piece above us is Whale Spotters by Ric Haynes. Ric, you've probably seen his work here in the gallery before. He's got an incredible, vivid imagination. His works are always so delightful. This piece, Whale Spotters, is actually right outside the booth here. If I could see through walls, I'd be looking straight at it. He has another piece on the first floor, and he has a poem on the wall. We've got, I think we said there's poems on the wall here for this exhibit as well. So you should definitely come take a look and even a listen as well to all of those. So this piece, it has captured me. I love it. It's delightful. It's strange. It's funny, it's sort of ominous at the same time, and it just felt right. So I'll share the poem I've written here. It's my first poem with a dynamic title. When I wrote it, it was called 35 Weeks, and now it's called 36 Weeks. And that number is going to keep going up until we can all get off of this boat together, so to speak. So here we are. The captain, having built the momentum to keep pace with the setting sun, just a little too late, and increasingly terrified at the hints of teal cutting through the horizon, and giving a little too much credence to what the bird he'd found among the flotsam suggested, proposed a game, where his sailors would draw the first thing they spotted at sea. The winner would receive a prize on the surely inevitable day they returned to land. Phil drew a whale. He prayed constantly, often aloud for deliverance, but he could not draw a whale when given the opportunity. Popo drew a whale, and he was damned proud of his whale. Like his namesake, he was liable to explode when under pressure, and would likely be the winner because of it. Glum Charlie drew a whale. He was sure there were no whales, but if everybody else was drawing them, why shouldn't he? He couldn't look the captain in the eyes. He wished he had a different nickname, but couldn't argue he deserved it. Tomas drew a whale. He thought Anselm was blocking his whale. He thought Anselm was doing it on purpose. But the captain had told him if he didn't stop accusing others of sabotage, he couldn't sit in the bow, and he would take his hat to make his own another ring taller. Anselm drew a whale. It looked like a fish, but he did not care. He just wanted to block Tomas's whale. Why couldn't he sit at the bow for once? Giacomo drew a whale. He thought Francesco's was better, drunk or not. He got the proportions right. He had been giving up his food to the other men, and his stature showed it. He hoped one day to fade to nothing, but he liked to draw. Ignatius drew a whale. He trusted the captain completely, but he had his doubts about the bird. Rodrigo drew a whale. He had eyes only for the horizon, but who could say? Maybe there was a whale up there, too. Months at sea left him stretched out and tired, and sure, he had the finest beard on the boat, save perhaps for the captain, but he mostly wanted to get off this boat. Francesco drew a whale. He thought it an excellent whale, but probably just because he was very drunk again. Nobody knew where he was hiding his liquor, but he hadn't been sober since September. At least he was a quiet drunk, except for the hiccuping. The captain wondered if they actually were seeing any whales. All he could see was the perpetually setting sun and the sharks that circled his boat, and his men, all of whom now knew each other's faces better than their own.
Just marvelous. I just love the whimsy in this. You know, those of us who know Ric Haynes know Ric's marvelous sense of humor and sense of play and magic. And it's just such a great antidote to such serious times and so much fun. So tell us a little bit about, you know, what drew you to this and what inspired what is such a fun poem. I almost feel like I'm in Groundhog Day.
So as soon as it came in, the bold color, the sort of like bisexual pride flag that it's got going on immediately like drew me towards it. And then to see all of these men like in various states of pride holding these, you know, somewhat bad pictures of whales, it was just so funny. And then there's this big man with a bird. The whole thing intrigued me, and stories just started to build about who they are and what they're doing. And I had the instant realization, oh my God, they're in quarantine. Like, we're all drawing whales at this point. It's so funny to look, you know, if you look at the image itself, you see lots of, to me, they look like sharks in the water, no whales at all, but all that they can see is whales. And I don't know, there's something hopeful and delusional about it. And I can relate to that right now.
Yeah.
So,
It
yeah.
it's like those children, "Are we there yet?" It's like, "Oh, well, just, draw something," and I don't know if they're all trying to impress the captain that this is what they are supposed to draw or not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he didn't draw anything. So is this what he wanted? Is he disappointed? Would he
right,
rather talk to the bird in his hand? And I also
right.
wanted you to have the fun of um, reading the poem or listening to it and trying to figure out, oh, that one's Giacomo, and oh, Tomas, that's him there.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
just to sort of have another fun connection. My favorite is Popo, named for the volcano Popocatépetl in Mexico,
Yeah.
standing proud in the middle there in green. I just love the figure he's cutting and how everyone else is sort of lazy, and he's got it held up with such pride. There's something that it feels a little like I don't know, Central American folk art to me. I don't know if that's
Mhm.
what Rick was trying to evoke, but like, that sort of inspired of the varied name sources that
Mm.
I used for them, and just imagining all the faces and relations they have to each other. And again, stuck on a boat.
Yeah.
I get it, and I like that to one degree or another. No one looks like they're about to jump off. No one looks angry that they had to draw a whale. They kind of just said, okay, I guess I'll draw a whale
There
today.
there's no whale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this epitomizes ekphrasis, or this poetry inspired by art, in my mind, because this isn't a description of this piece by Rick. This is a living, thriving story. We are on that boat. We are watching this whole thing unfold. We are now having fun along with the painter. And, you've really captured what I love about ekphrasis, which is to tell a story, and yet you incorporate what's going on in there without just describing it. How many guys with a picture of a whale, would be just boring, but you give them names, you give them personalities. You have studied this piece, so you know who's going to get what name and what they're going to be doing. It's just brilliant and lovely. And I just kept giggling as I was reading. Good thing I was alone in here. Well, I don't know if I was alone, Jason. There were some creepy props in the basement, so now I'm kind of
Yeah, I
squirmy
think
about what goes on down there, but I was essentially alone.
yeah, theaters have ghosts and their basements do as well. So
Yes,
all of
for
those,
sure.
there's some spooky props there. But I'm enchanted by the idea of someone coming to this painting and doing exactly what I did, writing a poem just about the different people you see on this boat, what their names are, what their personalities are, because I know for a fact that the names would never be the same, the
Right.
personalities wouldn't be the same. Um, and yeah, I agree. That's sort of the epitome of ekphrasis, is like,
Yeah.
it's you coming to a piece and beginning a conversation with it. And just like you can never have the same conversation with two different people, you
Right.
can't have two people can't have the same conversation with a piece of art, um, even when it's fun,
Another thing
delightful as
I
this. Yeah.
Go right ahead. Yeah. What I love about this, particularly, is you never try to explain what's going on or why. It's just sort of left to interpretation. You sort of are telling your version of the story, but we have no idea why they're drawing whales. And you don't try to tie this up in a nice bow. You just sort of leave it open. And that's the conversation that you can have with art when you write about it. Then the next person who looks at your poem and looks at the painting and then says, "Oh, is that really going on?" And it continues and it continues. And what a superb job with this. I just love it. I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you, Kim. It was really fun to write against, and uh, so glad that Rick brought this piece down. It's one of my favorites of the year for sure. So
Yes, yes. Thank you, Rick.
absolutely. So I think that takes us to the end of another episode of Purple Figs. Thank you all
Yes.
so much for joining. As I was saying earlier, please check out the description below. There will be links to the exhibit and to our open house between now and Thanksgiving, which is on Thursday. So happy Thanksgiving to those of you who are celebrating between now and when you watch this video.
Yes, and come to the open house on Friday. We're happy to entertain walk-ups. We want people to come and enjoy this beautiful art. We are just doing everything we can to stay alive and vibrant for our community who loves for us to be here, and we are so grateful for all of you this Thanksgiving and always.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you all so much. We cannot wait to see you. And please, the arts are alive at Cotuit Center for the Arts. So come on by when you can. 2021 is looking better all the time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, get off this boat. I wouldn't mind going on a nice whale watch, but
yeah, we'll go and then we can all stand near each other and spot whales together again soon.
yes, yes, exactly.
Until then, I hope you all draw some whales of your own and have a great day.
Happy holidays, everyone.